Good morning, everybody. I want to share some neat stuff on prophecy and basically around the King who came, Jesus who came, right? This King that we worship that did come and will come again. We're referring to Revelation 19:10, neat little clip that explains the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Before Jesus was born, his life was already written, like all of our lives. Over 300 prophecies, though, were told about him prior to him coming, and then him coming through death and a fulfillment through 300 prophecies is what his life basically surmised to, and it's a completion of 300. We're talking about like his virgin birth, Bethlehem birthplace, Galilean ministry, rejection, crucifixion, and resurrection. Just some of the biggest ones, obviously. We're foretold like hundreds, even thousands of years ago before he came. 100,000 years before he came, not just today. And every single one was fulfilled, which is just so, just blows my mind here. And when we talk about prophecy, I always like to think of that as kind of like a neat little God signature in something, right? Like, it's one of those little underwriting areas where you can see, like, oh, he had to say this is cool, like, this is proof of that. Isaiah 46, 9-10 says, I am God, declaring the end from the beginning. And we know that he's the Alpha and the Omega. We know that he's in all places. His sovereignty is in all things. But it's in all things, too. Not over all things. It's in all the little things, right? Speaking of prophecies, if one of these came true, if one prophecy came true by random chance, it would be beautiful. It would be remarkable. It would be amazing. But scholars and mathematicians coincidentally tell us that the odds of fulfilling just 8 prophecies by chance is 1 to the 10th. It's 1 times 10 to the 17th power. That's 100, 000, 000, 000, 000, 000, 000 in 1 chances. Jesus didn't just fulfill 8 though. He fulfilled hundreds. So just multiply that across the hundreds of experiences. To fulfill them all though, like, the probability is so astronomically small, it's essentially impossible. Unless God himself was in it, in the sovereignty, in the underwriting of those, and orchestrated those perfectly. If that doesn't leave you in a state of awe about this impossible made certain, is just I don't know what else does. Micah, you don't know anything about Micah, he named his birthplace 700 years ago. Isaiah told of his virgin birth, right? David described crucifixion like hundreds of years before it was even invented. Every detail happened exactly as God said. Before God, and only primarily because God rules all things and is sovereign over all things, and that includes history. The king didn't send himself, or a messenger, he came himself, right? He didn't just send somebody, he also came. And this is power, right? This is just more power, more proof, more like evidence towards this power of this amazing God King that we have. And it comes through the gospel of the came King. Paul talks about this in 1 Corinthians 15, 3-4. Christ died, was buried, and was raised in accordance with the scriptures, right? So he's also referring and crediting this. He saw this as well. So make note, see this. If God kept his word to send the king, he will keep his word to send him again. So the first time was really just he came to redeem. The next time he will come to reign over us, right? To fulfill a complete closure of authority over us, permanently and effectively. So just don't forget, just be in all this, take in these beautiful things. We don't follow a myth, right? We follow the living king whose coming was statistically impossible without God. But he did. So stand in all of that, walk in faith. I raise you up and encourage you to see this and use this as a testimony to a beautiful faith that you're making every day, the more that you understand the Lord Jesus Christ, to help proclaim his kingdom, because the king who came is coming again. Love you guys. Have a great day.